Our first prepared speaker today is our Vice President Public Relations. He is a student at NUST and he will be delivering his Project 1 Level 4, and the topic of his speech is the word is a project. I'm sorry if there is some mistake, Hamza. Please join me in welcoming Toastmaster Hamza. His speech will be evaluated by our very passionate and diligent Toastmaster Atif. Please join me in welcoming Toastmaster Hamza. Over to you, Toastmaster Hamza.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Rehana. Hello, chartered accountants. Hello, engineers. Hello, freelancers and businessmen. We're so different from each other. Our jobs and professions, they're so different from each other's. A chartered accountant is responsible for auditing the books of various companies. An engineer is responsible for providing creative solutions to various problems. A freelancer or a businessman is responsible for managing their clients and satisfying their needs. Our job responsibilities are so different. If an engineer wakes up one day and decides to go to A.F. Ferguson to audit the books of a company, he wouldn't be able to do so. If a chartered accountant woke up one day and went to a manufacturing plant to do the job of an engineer, he or she wouldn't be able to do so. We are so different from each other, yet there is one thing that we all have in common. There is one thing that all our jobs have in common. That one thing is projects. Wikipedia defines projects as an undertaking with several inputs and outputs that are used to achieve a particular goal or to reach to a particular outcome. No matter what industry you work in, no matter what company you work at, no matter what level you work at, you will always have to deal with projects. Either you manage a project or you participate in a project. Now, projects are everything new that you do apart from your day-to-day life. For an engineer, it could be creating something new, such as a software or a machine. And for a businessman, a project could be expanding his business. Now, projects aren't just related to your professional life. Your everyday life can have projects too. Suppose you're a homeowner and you want to paint one of the rooms in your house. That is a project. From researching about the various paint brands and colors, to going to the paint store, to actually buying the paint, painting the room, that whole thing is a project. When you decide to buy a car, from researching about the different models and companies, to going to the showroom, to actually buying the car, that is a project too. Now that we've established how important projects are in our everyday and professional life, we'll touch one other topic: project management. Since most of you present here are working professionals, you might have either heard of the term or you might have even used it in your job. Project management is a powerful methodology and a tool used to manage and execute projects. It is such a powerful tool that many people get certification in project management, and some people even specialize their master's degree in project management. That is the power of project management. Now, project management is a very detailed subject and it has a lot of intricacies, but I'll try to simplify it as much as possible for the average person. In its fundamental essence, project management has 5 stages. The first stage is the initiate phase. The second stage is the planning stage. Then comes the execute stage, then the monitoring and control, and finally the closure stage. These 5 stages can be implemented to a variety of projects and a variety of scenarios. Now, to further illustrate this point, I will use an example. This example will be something from all of our practical lives, but I'd like all of you to participate with me. The project that we'll use is, we'll assume that we're going on a trip to another country. Now, using this scenario, using the 5 stages that I've told you, we'll manage this project. Now, when we're going on a trip to another country, the initiate phase would be deciding which country we want to go to and who we want to go with. For example, I would want to go to Turkey and I would want to go with my friends. That is the initiate phase. Next comes the planning phase. Can anybody tell me what comes in the planning phase when you're going on a trip to another country? Anyone?
When do you want to go? The duration?
Okay. Okay. Thank you
Awesome.
so much, Thank you so much, Toastmaster Atif. You're very right. The planning phase could be when you want to go, the duration of the trip, the budget, and the specific locations you want to visit. That could be a part of the planning phase. Next comes the execute phase. Can anybody tell me what comes in the execute phase? Well, in the execute phase, you actually do the project. For example, if you're going on a trip, the execute phase will be going to the airport, reaching your destination, going to the hotel, then visiting all the landmarks or the locations you plan to go to. That is the execution phase. Next comes the monitoring and control phase. In this, you monitor the performance of your project and decide whether it is actually living up to the standard you had set. For example, you will measure whether you're under budget, over budget, or going according to your budget. Finally, in the closure phase, you complete the project. In this scenario, the closure phase would be to complete your trip, head back home, and decide whether the trip was a success or not. In this way, you can use the 5 stages of project management to manage any sort of project. Ladies and gentlemen, as a parting note, I hope that this speech has enforced the belief in you that how important projects are, whether in your daily life or your professional life, and how project management can be a powerful tool in helping you. I also hope that this speech motivated you to dive further deeply into the world of project management and to educate yourself further. Because believe it or not, the world is full of projects, and isn't wrong to say that the world itself is a project too. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Hamza, for such a wonderful speech. The word is a project indeed only for those who ponder. The Creator Himself has urged us, has asked us repeatedly to ponder on everything that is around us. It was the quest, it was the curiosity of Prophet Ibrahim that led him to discover his Creator. The quest of so many great people led to discovery of so many wonderful things and so many eureka moments. Our next prepared speaker for today is a seasoned Toastmaster, and he is a seasoned customer care professional. He will be delivering his project to level 1 of dynamic leadership. The title of his speech is Impact of Social Media on Our Lives. His speech will be evaluated by a wonderful Toastmaster, Toastmaster Rizwan. Please join me in welcoming Toastmaster Hassan. Toastmaster Hassan, the stage is yours.
Thank you. I'm fat. Mom, smart. She's only 19 years old. What am I doing with my life? Hey, 2 likes. Nice. Do I like this photo? Does she really need more likes? I hope I'm going to be invited to the wedding. One more like. Nice. Welcome to internal monologue of a typical social media scroll. A monologue that so many of us have every day. But we don't think about it. We don't talk about it. In fact, many of us can't even recognize it's happening. My fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, today I'll discuss the unintended consequences social media is having on our mental health. Before I begin my talk, I wanted to ask again, all those people who are on Twitter, please raise your hand. Good. And I want everyone who are on Instagram, please raise your hands. Now, I want everyone who are using Facebook, I'm sure everyone is using Facebook, so please raise your hands. Perfect. So it's nice to see that a lot of you are using these apps to get connected with your friends, with your family, with your members. My life is social media, personally, professionally, and of course, academically. Social media has become part of our nature. We post, we share, we like, we dislike, we follow, we unfollow, we subscribe, we unsubscribe. How is social media affecting us? Three of most common stressors on social media that if go unchecked have potential to have full-blown mental issues. Number one is the highlight reel. Just like in sports, the highlight reel is the collection of the best and brightest moments. Social media is our personal highlight reel. It's where we put our wins, or when we look great, or when we are out with family and friends. Being human means that you can be manipulated in all moments. It doesn't matter what language you speak, how smart you are. It's not about what you know, it's about how your brain actually works. And now we know that many of social networks hire people called attention engineers who make these products increasingly addictive. We are all vulnerable to the approval of others. We really care about the opinion of others about ourselves. When you share a photo of yourself on Facebook, your brain is vulnerable as to what others will think about my photo. We also struggle with insecurity because we compare our behind the scenes with everyone else highlight reels. We are constantly comparing ourselves to the others. Yes, this was happening before social media too, but with TV and celebrity. Now it's happening all the time. It's directly linked to you guys. The highlights are what people want to see. In fact, when your highlights do well, you counter the second stress on social media, which is social currency. Just like the dollar, a currency is literally something we use to attribute value to good. Social media, these likes, these dislikes, these comments, these shares have become this form of social currency by which we attribute value to something. I was reading somewhere that if you are using a product for free, then it doesn't mean that you're actually using it free, because if the product is free, then you are the product. They're actually getting money out of you. With every like, you get a shot of that feel good chemical which your brain secretes, and that's called dopamine. You gain more of that social currency. So, what do we do to feel good? We check likes just one more time. We post just one more time. Doesn't that sound like every drug you have ever heard of? But what if going on social media every day was a terrifying experience? You not just question yourself, what, but you question your safety. Perhaps the first stressor on social media, the number third, is the online harassment. What about everyday online harassment? What about the ugly snapshot of the Snapchat you sent to your friend with the intention of it being private? And now it's on Facebook, it's on cloud, it's there, you take it back. When we talk about the dark side of social media, what we really talk about is the dark side of the people. That insecurity that makes you take down photo you were excited to share. That dark side that looks at a picture of a happy family and wonders why yours doesn't look like that. But every time I have talk about today has nothing and everything to do with social media. I mean, social media is neither good nor bad. It's just the tool we use to do what we have always done: tell stories, communicate with each other. You wouldn't blame Samsung Television for a bad TV show, of course. Twitter doesn't make people write hateful posts. So, as parents, as the educators, as friends, as bosses, this dark side is what we need to focus on. We need preventive strategies and coping strategies. The thing we all need to do is to audit our social media diet. The same way we monitor what goes in our mouth, we also need to monitor what goes into our news feed. Ask yourself, did that Facebook scroll makes you feel better or worse? How many times do I actually check likes? Why am I responding this way to that photo? And ask yourself if you're happy with the results. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Hassan, for such a wonderful speech.